What's up, everybody on YouTube? We have ourselves a teenager.
Welcome to Tune Fever, baby.
Yeah, so that's right. We're talking about the Chariots album called The Fiance with the two E's at the end. I have it right here. This is 13 years old today. Came out 2007 on April 3rd. In case you don't believe me, it says that it's the Chariot, the Fiance right there on the side. I know it wasn't here, so some of you fact checkers. But yep, that's it right there. 13 years old. Can you believe it? See, she's grown up to be a lovely looking young lady. So we're all very excited about this, I'm sure. I completely adore this album, let me just say. When I put it on, I think, this might be my favorite Chariot album. Or sometimes when I put it on, I'm like, this might be my favorite album ever. These type of thoughts, but of course, like, you have these type of thoughts whenever you listen to an album that you love a whole lot. It's kind of hard to pick a favorite ever, isn't it? But yeah, I got the Chariot shirt on right now, representing this band. Yeah, so consider this video kind of like a birthday card to this album. Just wanted to say something nice, get it out there on the internet. Yeah, I'm a huge fan though, man. Wow, where to start? How about the beginning? Back to back, first track. Total classic. It's just like kick off the album. I love the way this album kicks off. First time I heard it, it scared me, and it should have. You know, feedback, all this type of cool sounds. I like the way the Chariot plays with the feedback all the time, in like every song. It's really nice. Man, this is the last chance you got. What? Sick, man. Yeah, it's really cool. Intro track, man. It's short and every second of it's perfect. Yeah, I like to listen to every song on this album, man. I just like to hear this album straight through. It really doesn't miss a beat. This album is great. Man, just track by track. It's like every song. It's the song structures are kind of jagged. It's got that sort of math rocky thing. Really, really heavy and distorted and really, really loud. And very human. This is something about the Chariot that I can really appreciate. It just sounds like human beings made the stuff. I really dig it. And kind of at the same time as like the Chariot can sound chaotic, it can also it sounds like it's just a really well rehearsed band that's kind of all on the same wavelength, speaking the same language. And I think speaking of what they communicate, man, I just love Chariot's whole thing. They just have one of the best messages, just as a band. Like their lyrics, what they communicate, they just have one of the best messages. I do think so. And speaking of that, I guess you have track 7 on the album, "They Came to Kill," which this song to me is one of the most emotionally potent songs on this album. It does feature Hayley Williams from Paramore, which is nice. It's kind of interesting and cool. But yeah, I mean, if I let it, listening to this song and listening to the words could make me cry if I just like wanted to cry or something, but I usually don't want to cry. So, but yeah, I really dig it. Of course, there's like a lot of kind of classic things on this album. Like there's the song "And Shot Each Other," which has like my favorite scream maybe ever. Kind of towards the beginning there. And then it's kind of just a grunt. Except, see, I can't scream in any way, so don't expect much out of me. But expect a lot out of this album because it's really nice, but not too much if you've never heard it. Don't go in with crazy expectations. But to me, this album is something that if you love metal, you probably already know this album. I actually want to do a video series of how to get into metal and then kind of like exploring multiple genres of metal, because I think a lot of people who are into metal are kind of into their niches and they don't really explore a lot of other things. But, myself, coming basically semi late to metal. Like I got into metal when I was kind of in like later high school, you could say. Um, coming into metal like not being from a scene or something, coming just from a little town. Um, I, I never really understood the whole like I like this kind of metal, therefore I hate this other kind of metal. It's just kind of like, oh, metal's interesting. Let me check it out and figure out what I like. And so I am planning to do a series of a bunch of different like subgenres within metal. I mean, there's about as many subgenres within metal as there are genres in general. Um, yeah, I want to do that at some point. So I kind of lost my train of thought there, but maybe that's an announcement for the future because I'd like to do that, and I have a lot of notes and plans to do that. I have to figure out exactly how I want to execute it, but it's coming. But back to our friend, the fiance. Not sure whose fiance. Somebody's. Yeah, man. There's a ton of really sick stuff on this album. Absolutely check it out. So there's that happy birthday to this album. Thanks for the years and years of delicious music that I have thoroughly enjoyed. Yeah, man. You have to hear it. I mean, there's so many stuff. Like the bass is like kind of loud in the mix on this album, which is a good thing because normally bass isn't quite this loud, but the bass is so prominent on this album. And there's like certain moments where that's the most important thing. Like it's the perfect choice. There's just, things like that are kind of unique about it to me. Even among the Chariot's discography, they're kind of unique in that way. Yeah, I'm just a huge fan. Man, just the lyrics, the instrumental passages, and it's just a lot of good ideas all in one place, and it's very like engaging. And like I said earlier, it's just so packed full of like little moments. And whenever you really listen to this album, like a lot over the course of years, as one does when they love an album a lot, you get to that place where like a song ends and you're like, I'm so ready for the next song to start playing. Things like this happen on this album completely. For me, I really have quite the affection for this album. But 13 years old, we have ourselves a teenager, young and spry. Yeah. So this album, hear this. It is the Chariot Fiance, the Fiance, with two E's at the end. And one of them has an accent mark above it. I think it's the first one. So hear this. And that'll do it for this episode. All right, see you later. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Join the notification squad. Okay. All right, bye.